Welcome all to the 5th episode of this AU lore rambling series. Woo! This episode will be focusing on the rather spookier sides in celebration of Halloween, for this is a Halloween special. So without further ado, let's get into it. Number 1. One of the Wellsworth and Suttery's engines, number 4, Billy Derbyton to be exact, was rebuilt with larger buffers in 1927 following an accident. Shortly after, he was sold into industrial use at the China Clay Pits near Brandon, and was thus repainted to a pale gray livery. Billy was one of the earliest engines at the Clay Pits and will be later joined by Bill and Ben. By 1938, he was the last engine from the long-gone Wellsworth and Suttery Railway. In 1949, an avalanche occurred, and Billy was killed in the events that ensued, unfortunately, and he was scrapped shortly after. The last of the Wellsworth and Suttery was gone. We fast forward to around 1969 or so, when Bill was finishing up his shifts for the night, where he claims to have seen a glowing silhouette of what appeared to be the late Billy Derbyton shunting a lot of trucks as if nothing happened. Other witnesses claim that Billy's whistle was heard blaring across the worksite, but these never really amounted to any evidence following investigation, only significant evidence being the witness accounts of Bill, Ben, and a few others. But regardless, it is believed that every year around the anniversary of the accident, that you could see Billy Derbyton's ghost just going around business as usual. Number 2. On a lighter note, every Halloween, a huge firework display is held at Ulfstead. Most of the engines often attend after finishing their work. Oftentimes, a bunch of ghost stories are shared amongst the engines, and for some, this is the biggest highlight of their year. Number 3. Across the waterways, at Big City Railroad, they have a tradition where on October 31st every year, the crew members end the day early so they can be with their families for the holiday. And of course, like many other places, a few ghost stories are passed around amongst the engines and staff alike. Notably one of Big City Railroad number 1, which I might go into another video in the distant future. So look out for that, I guess. Number 4. Mavis arrived at Farquhar Quarry in 1964, like in the Railway series, and became its main shunting engine. And she arrived in all black and remained in this livery until 1968. Mavis chose to have her side plates painted to a vibrant red, which she still sports to this very day. Number 5. During the Skarloey Railway's expansion in the late 60s, there were multiple reported sightings of ghosts of Smudger and Stanley in the valley where they last were before they died. And how these were reported amongst Skarloey Railway workers is because the Skarloey Railway had bought up most of their land, as it just went into government hands, pretty much. It was a fairly complicated mess. Anyway, so the reportings of these ghosts were amongst mostly railway workers, and surprisingly Duncan, who claimed to have seen the glowing outline of Smudge right in front of him. And this caused him to run away like a little bitch. Number 6. So you know when that boulder wreaked havoc on that soon-to-be quarry mine in 1970, right? Well, a few years later in 75, a filmmaker actually used that idea as inspiration for a movie which was filmed on Sodor. In the film, the boulder, which was named Jacko, actually came to life and terrorized a little branch line. And the film was called Jacko Night on the Railway, and it starred a Great Western Railway 1400 and a British Railways Class L2, which are essentially loose representations of both Thomas and Rusty. Number 7. Sodor Central Prison is located south of Kildane and was opened in 1902. There was no railway access to this prison, and whenever a sentient vehicle commits a crime, they are just towed there by lorry, and where they serve out their sentence. Number 8. Wild Express Studios is the premier film studio based on Sodor, and is located at Marin. It has brought masterpieces like the Jacko Night Trilogy to the big screens, and is absolute fan-favorite studio choice amongst moviegoers on Sodor. Number 9. Mighty Mo is a name given to Murdoch in this AU. He just goes by Mo most of the time, by the way, but he was built in 1958, and he walled about Sodor in 1969 after he was bought in auction by the Northwestern Railway. After arriving on Sodor, he was given the option to be repainted, and he chose his favorite color, orange. Orange is his favorite color as it is synonymous with his favorite part of Halloween, the jack-o'-lanterns. Murdoch loves jack-o'-lanterns. He even advocates for loads of them to be placed all around the engine sheds every year. Needless to say, Murdoch is a huge Halloween buff. Number 10. So you know how in episode 4 I said Top Hat was an 042, right? Well, I'd actually like to retcon that and make him a 260 Camelback. The reason I do this is because I just find it so wrong to have Top Hat, who's meant to be larger than characters like, say, Tencent and Little Owl and all that stuff, have them basically be even sizes. So I figured making them a little bit larger engine is a little more proportionate. Build year and all that's still pretty much the same, just wheel configuration is the only difference. Number 11. Sodor is huge on Halloween. It is considered their biggest holiday of the year, and the celebrations across the island involve parades, parties, movie screenings, fireworks shows, the list goes on. Even the Northwestern Railway engines even get to join on the fun. They even get the chance to wear some cool decorations to celebrate. Halloween is truly popular amongst Hydrians. Happy Halloween, everybody! Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Good evening, everybody! Welcome to a special video. It is, in my opinion at least, the best time of the year. I live for October. And for this, we'll be diving into the lore of the many ghosts and specters within my little headcanon known as the Porterverse. Before we continue, just want to throw out a quick disclaimer. This is not, I repeat, not covering any official lore in any regard. It is all purely headcanon and made up. But if you agree or disagree with any of the information in this video, it's perfectly fine. And if you'd like to use any elements from my headcanons in this video, including other videos, go ahead, it's perfectly fine. Go nuts. Just reset a tag so I can see what you do with it. Always like seeing your work. Now then, sit back, relax, probably grab some popcorn and orange Fanta, and now we shall dive into the ghosts and specters within the Porterverse. Billy Durrington is one that I've mentioned before. He was one of the former Wellsworth and Suttery tank engines, who was sold to the China clay pits in around 1927. He would also be repainted into a pale gray livery. Billy Durrington was unfortunately killed in 1949 in an avalanche. He died trying to get all the workmen out, and he was scrapped following this. The first sightings of his ghost were reported around 1969. Some claim to have seen the silhouette of him in the clay pits, while others claim to have heard his whistle blaring in the area of his demise in the midnight hours. The ghost of Billy Durrington was not reported to have been hostile or friendly. The white glow and all-white livery of the ghost, according to the witnesses, indicate that this is an oddment ghost. This is one of the three types of ghosts in the Porterverse. Oddment ghosts are merely just a spirit roaming around the area of their demise, as if they were watching over it. And these types of ghosts can often be seen during the autumn months, albeit it is very rare. But just know the autumn months are the best time of year to try to catch one if you want to see it. Stanley and Smudger were mid-Sodor Railway engines number 2 and O2 respectively. They would work on the railway until their untimely deaths during a bombing raid in World War II. The ghosts of these engines were first spotted in the 1960s. The reports of this and eyewitnesses claim to have seen an invisible figure with a golden sparkle outline, almost like fireflies. And if these reports are believed to be true, then it is believed that the ghosts of the late Stanley and Smudger are what we call a lingering type of ghost. The lingering ghosts are very known for its rare appearances, as they are basically invisible with the gold outline. And these types of ghosts are generally neutral in most situations, but they can act hostile if provoked in a certain way. And the ghost of Stanley and Smudger can be seen in the evenings from June to November, sometimes allegedly scaring away the occasional dickhead that provokes them. Usually these kinds of ghosts are around to warn people before continuing further. Rebecca was an Express Pacific engine on the Northwestern Railway during the British Railways era. She was friendly to nearly everyone around her and was all around a very kind engine. She was unfortunately killed in a fatal collision in 1965 along with several of her passengers. The first reports of her ghost date back to 1966. And going off of these reports, the Lady Rebecca has become a lingering ghost. And the ghost of Rebecca could be seen from 1966 to 69. After that, there were no more appearances of Rebecca. No one knows why or how, but many believe that Rebecca is now at peace after a long time. Here's a character that I'm actually working on a model for right now. This is Archibald. Archibald is one of rather interesting origins. In 1911, the KNUR and the Big City Railroad made a deal where each will build a locomotive for each other, and each engine would arrive at their new homes around 1912. Things would go well for Archibald on Sodor until around 1915. when he was mysteriously found dead in the harbor. He had drowned. The details on this whole incident are very vague, as it was wartime and ports are very swift and everything. And the first appearances of Archibald's ghosts were reported in 1937. In going off these reports, the ghost of Archibald was almost entirely white livery with red accents all around. In going off of this indicates that Archibald has become a pugnacious type of ghost. Pugnacious ghosts are usually very hostile and often lash out at those who get close enough. The scariest part is that these ghosts are supposedly semi-tangible and they can interact with physical objects and beings. This is what makes a pugnacious ghost so dangerous. Just know that if you see a white ghost with red accents, stay away and try to get help. Always. Very, very hostile. With that, we have now covered all of the known ghost engines of the Porterverse. At least the one seen on Sodor. This video was honestly a lot of fun to make, as I'm a huge Halloween buff myself, and I absolutely love this time of year. If you're wondering, yes, I am making the model of Archibald, and also I do want to make some of the other characters I mentioned in Model Form Sunday. Just not necessarily their ghost forms, as some of their ghost variants will be impossible. There is an exception, of course, with Archibald, as I'm currently making his ghost variant. And he's almost done after recording this, actually. So his video will be out very soon. So stay tuned for that. Thank you all very much for watching, and I shall see you all in the next one. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a Porterverse Workbench Halloween special. The model of focus for this episode is one that I teased in last week's Halloween special. This being the one and only Archibald. This is a simple yet surprisingly difficult character to make. Like many episodes before us, we will start with the character's backstory, and then we will head into the model making process. And so, without further ado, let's get started with the backstory of Archibald, the Ghost Engine. In 1911, the Knapford and Ulstead Railway and the Big City Railroad strike up a deal that would see each railway build a locomotive for each other. The KNURs ended the deal saw them build the engine known as Puffa, while the Big City Railroad would build an 080 tender engine known as Archibald. Each engine would arrive at the new homes in 1912. Archibald proved to be very proficient in passenger work, and was very popular given he was an American-designed engine working in the British Isles. The good times would not last for long, however, as in 1915, Archibald was found dead in the harbor. He had drowned. The investigation following the incident found that a deranged crew member was at fault, as he was recently laid off and had hijacked Archibald in the midnight hour and driven him into the sea as an act of revenge. The exact crew member was never caught, however. Many years would go by with little mention of Archibald's name. That was until the autumn season of 1937. Reports began to flood in from engines and staff alike that a glowing white engine with red accents was terrorizing the Northwestern Railway. Ghost investigators at the time said that the late Archibald had become what is called a pugnacious ghost, which is known to be very hostile. This was evident in the red accents and the semi-decayed appearance of Archibald. A plan was organized to try to capture the ghost and to try to hold it down for a while they figured out a way to get rid of it. In this plan, the various Northwestern Railway engines attempt to surround Archibald, and for a brief moment, locomotive number 1 Thomas was able to couple up to the tender of his old colleague, and he braked intensely. The force of Thomas's braking, combined with the jerking forward of Archibald trying to escape, led to the tender coupling to the engine snapping. Archibald rolled forward a few yards before stopping, and after a brief moment, he faded away into nothing, never to be seen again. This is where the story of Archibald, the Ghost Engine, comes to a close. Archibald's model was surprisingly easy to make. It was mostly the story that was difficult, but I'd say I figured it out in the end eventually, you know. For the model, it was simply my old Big City Road engine that was last seen in my very first model train collection video from 2022. it was just simply modified and repainted. I removed the front pony truck and cab to achieve a decayed look, as that's the kind of look I was going for the ghost here. After all the body work was done, I then primed the body in a white primer, and simply left it as it was. I then worked on the tender. This tender is a monstrosity, I know. But don't worry, it's on purpose. I like to imagine that the Big City Railroad just applied British design cues from memory without putting any real thought behind it when designing Ultra Bold. Hence the very weird tender. I used 2 all-engine scale push-along tenders, specifically from Henry and Gordon, to make this. So the tenders and cut them down in certain sections and make sure they'd fit over the motor housing, and then use some card to smooth over the side profile to make sure it looked a little smoother, as it'll be just protruding weirdly before without it. The center has 2 cold ports, and I like to imagine the center of it is where the water is stored. And after all of that was applied, I took some paint pens, mostly red and black, and made out various details. The red being the most prominent, as can be seen in the model, making out various details like the boiler bands, the funnel cap, the smoke box door, and among other parts. And then the black for very small details, like some pipe work here and there, nothing too much. And the same process was applied to the tender, with the red and black going in various places. And then, for the last step, I gave all parts of the model a nice clear coat with matte acrylic coat. After all that, Archibald's ghost was finally complete. And that's kind of surprising part, it actually kind of runs as well. It's a tender drive engine, so yeah. Thank you all very much for watching this episode of PORTERVERSE Workbench, and I shall see you all in the next one. I honestly don't know what you're on about, James. Jack-O' Night 3 is far better than Jack-O' Night 2. It's the perfect Halloween movie. It is just perfection on all levels. The first one is good, though. Well, you're right on that, but not at all on the third movie. You have to be on something to think that about the third movie. Talking movie night, are we? Oh yes, Thomas. Very important question. Which Jack-O' Night on the Railway movie is the best? Jack-O' Night 3. Easy. Ha! Told you, James. I do see James's point in liking Jack-O' Night 2. Then again, they're all equally magnificent movies. Do y'all think the fourth movie will deal with duplicates as they tease in the ending of the third one? Seems pretty interesting, I think. What do y'all think? Ha! They will never make Jack-O' Night 4. Well, I don't think they should, anyways. I don't see why not, considering the last one made around, like, what, 370 million pounds? Budget was only like 42 million, I think. And they made a huge amount of money on it. They could 100% make Jack-O' Night 4 and it'll still be good. Oh, but that is if they keep the same team as the last 3 movies. And the Jagger Boulder stays a practical prop, of course. But that is my personal opinion on the matter. Well, a time skip will be in order if a fourth movie has to happen. But it should also deal with the mirror characters as well. I mean, Troy Todd is technically a mirror of me, considering he is based on my accounts of the Boulder incident, after all. True, but he is played by one of Oliver's brothers, I believe. But imagine they made a whole new engine and stunt double to resemble you to a T, eh, Thomas? Oh, that'll be the day. Just imagine one of them duplicates pulling a good string pretending they're me. Oh, that's right. I have to cut the good string real quick. I'll see you guys in a bit. I'll probably meet you at the fireworks show. Let's see. Cover truck, cover truck, cover truck. Where is... Aha! There you are. Huh? Oh, hell no! Hello, Thomas. What's got y'all so worried this time of night? Go, 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 go! Don't eat the bump. What the hell is that? I don't have any idea. But it looks just like me and it moves. And I don't want to find out what it can do. Keep going! I think we lost it. Oh shit, Thomas! The sheds! Oh shit, we're gonna have to break it at the same time then. Alright, let's go. Fuck, shit, get down. Ah! What the fuck is up with you two coming in all weird all of a sudden? I can't believe it. I managed to scare the Thomas the Tank Engine twice now. Care to explain what the hell is on the flatbed? Oh, this? This is some dummy unit made for those TV events. This one was shipped from America and we are to restore it. That's why the face is all messed up on this one. I like to call it a goober because it's all small and short. I find it quite adorable, really. Thomas? Yeah? You're a fucking idiot!
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.